Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to simplify square roots and cube roots using your calculator if it's not a perfect square. So if we start with something like the square root of 48, if you notice, when we put square root of 48 in our calculator, we get that ugly decimal. And so that just tells us that 48 is not a perfect square. So what we can do instead is use our calculator to help break it down and pull out all the perfect squares that are in 48. So you can do that following these directions that I have on this side of the screen, and I'm going to show you how you actually enter this in. So you start by going to y equals, and then we're going to put in 48, because that's what we're actually taking the square root of, and we're going to divide it by x squared. And so the reason we divide that by x squared is because we want to take out all of those perfect squares that are inside of 48. So once you have that entered, your next step is just going to go to your table. So second and graph will take you to your table. And here you may have to scroll around a little bit, but you always want to try to make sure that you get the biggest one. So once you see over here in the Y1 column, if you see your ones there, it's not going to get any smaller than that. So we can look here and see that if I come down here to 4, 4 and 3, that's going to be my biggest numbers. So what this tells you is that your actual answer, the x is going to be the ones that come outside. So you can look here, and I've got 4 on the outside of my square root. And then the number here is going to be the numbers that are left inside. So I have my 3 underneath the radical, so my answer would be 4 square roots of 3. And so now let's do the same thing. I'm just going to scroll these notes down a little bit, so that we can see example 2, which is going to show us a cube root. Now it works the exact same way. So here, if we come up to y equals, make sure you clear it out so you're starting with a fresh screen. We're going to type in, this time, 104, and I'm still dividing out, but in this case, since I have a cube root here, I'm not going to divide by x squared. Instead, I'm going to divide by x to the 3rd power. Other than that, nothing's going to change. Once you have it entered, you're going to do second graph, get back to your table. And again, you may have to scroll around some on some of these. But if you look here, you can see here's my 1, so it's not going to be any smaller than this. So I wouldn't need to scroll down anymore. I can see that the only one other than 1 that works is my 2 and 13. Remember, the number under x comes out. The number under y stays in. So you can see now that my answer is 2 cube roots of 13.